Hey everybody, welcome back to another Stoneface Reactions. I'm Theta. This is Lessons. This is Justin. Sorry, first time trying to do this. And for returning and new visitors who might be wondering, isn't this the third time you've watched Pluto? We're trying to bring back the three-party system again. This is my third time. This will be my third time watching Pluto. This will be Justin's
Yep.
the second time. And lessons. Oh, that's Justin. First time.
Yeah.
Sorry. Putting me in the middle was a bad idea. I should probably just put myself on the side, pointed in one direction. Um, yeah. First time. So I guess we've already covered this once with Justin. Lessons. Do you know anything about Pluto?
I am new to this. I am completely new. So this is what I'm going for,
Do you
basically. I
know anything about Astro Boy?
Yes. I remember watching both the black and white and the color versions actually in reruns because
Well,
I am that old, but not that old. Um and so there, yeah, I know a lot about Astro Boy.
yeah, actually, I went back and I watched the first episode of 1963 Astro Boy, which is the black and white one.
Mm-hmm.
And I let you know I did watch this arc that this is based off of in that same black and white, which is not translated by the way, so I have no idea. But yeah, Pluto is sort of a it's not an homage. It is a what do you call it? Like an anniversary edition, but it got released in a weird date because they had a rights issue when it came out. Uh, Celebrating the greatest story arc in all of Astro Boy, and thus they called it Pluto. Otherwise, I don't know. You have any other thoughts on this, Justin? You watched this one episode before. It's going to be a second time for you.
Yeah, I've seen the one episode. From what was expressed when we watched it seemed like this tells that arc but expands upon a lot and adds in giving things context.
Certainly added more emotional beats than I got, but then again,
Oh yeah.
uh, yeah. Well, I guess if there's not much more to go through here, because once again, I don't want to give Lessons any preconceived notions about what he's about to get into. At the
Mm-hmm.
same time, someone in this playlist is like, "What the fuck is going on?" So I say
We're
we
doing it
just
again. Yes.
yeah. Oh man, I can't wait till they come back with a fourth person and do the same episode again.
You know what? If that's how you feel, get in the comments.
Oh man, that would have.
Let us
Sorry,
know.
now I'm just imagining that the new show that I'm doing where I watch the same episode again. I just keep adding another block for another camera. It's just yeah. I got 17. Well, I mean 17 cameras all in a square around the episode we're watching. The Brady Bunch of anime reactions.
Yeah,
Hey, you know what?
basically.
Eventually we'll watch episode 2 of Pluto. We just
Uh,
need enough
to
people.
be fair, I've watched that episode once. It's in the playlist. Once we get to three, I'll be brand new. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into it. But before we get started, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, comment down below to feed that algorithm. On top of all that, if you want to watch more shows like this, unfiltered, uncensored, and uncut, as well as some early access stuff, you can check it out over on the Patreon. It's just $5 a month, but hey, no pressure. It's all to support the channel, just a little bit extra. I'm going to say this now because I've said it every other time this has come up. They say once you read the manga that you can't stop. I've said that 3 times now. That's all right.
I haven't read manga in years. I've always been more an anime type of person myself.
Yeah, I'm technically more of
I
a
have never
manhwa
read
guy.
manga.
Yeah.
As far as I know, it reads the opposite direction, but that's the only knowledge I have other than some very specific information about manga I've never touched.
I mean, it is true.
Well, this is very much 21st century CGI, so mine's being inspired on Astro Boy, but it has a CGI imprint on it.
It
I
definitely
mean,
does.
maybe elements. Obviously, not the whole thing.
Oh, yes, run toward the fire. That's good.
Well, he is a fireman.
True.
I'd be more
but-
concerned if he didn't.
Here, I gotta go, guys.
Yeah, that looks like a crash. There, he said it.
See, that's the guy who shouldn't be running towards the fire.
Fair. But you know why he is.
Yeah.
Wow. Third time watching, it's the first time I've heard him say that. His signal is dead? I didn't pick that up before.
Yep.
Okay, that was a bit weird.
A little bit.
Because you
That's
have
just ketchup.
headlights. Yeah, headlights like a car, but supposedly they're running.
If you want to get any sleep in that room, you really need curtains.
What is he? German, possibly. It's a long conversation that I've had before. There's a Dutch philosophy where you specifically keep your windows open all the time because it's more abnormal to hide stuff from your neighbors.
Okay.
No?
I guess.
I can link you the thing after if you're actually interested.
I
Also, that's-
actually would be curious about that.
I'm jealous of the size of that room because that room is huge.
I know.
大勢の登山客や子供たちとの交流を深めながら自然と共存する森林伐採のプランを熱心にプログラミングしていました。愛されたモンブランさんの死を悼む声が世界中から届いています。はい、ゲジヒトです。はい、わかりました。すぐに行きます。仕事だ。出かけるよ。
I mean, looks like he lives in a skyrise, right?
Yeah.
They could also be those
Still.
kind of electrical tinted windows that become see-through on command.
ヘルナ。
Yeah.
I would not be surprised one bit.
ちょっと休んだ方がいいだろ。
あなたがそんなこと言うなんて。
Oh. I guess it's Switzerland, but I thought for a moment I think they were doing the Japanese thing where they're driving on the left. I'm like, oh, that doesn't make any sense to me.
Oh yeah, I guess if didn't say it before, this is a show that takes place all across the world. Obviously, that's why I thought they were German, because of the police have police eye on them, which is German for police.
In Switzerland, they speak French and German.
こりゃ。おい、あんた。
That gives me a Good Omens vibes for some reason.
警部、彼はあれですよ。
Oh, you mean yeah, what's his name?
Sorry, Iris Fale, the other
よろ
one.
しく。
I can't even remember the actor's name. I'm trying to say Doctor Who at this point.
Yeah.
よろしく。まあこの通りひどい荒らされようでね。何か紛失しているか調べるだけでも一苦労だろう。
No matter how advanced, you have to show the cop flashing the badge.
なぜわかる？
物色した跡がない。
そんな君これだけ荒らされて。
わかるんです。この部屋は破壊されただけだ。
ではこれについてはどう思うね？この頭
Have
に
you made the
Person's
connection
just taking a
lessons?
nap.
みたいなのは何かね。
Well, David Tennant is the actor that I was thinking about. Yeah.
何
No, I meant in the scene.
不審人物
Sorry.
が検問を突破
I mean,
I wasn't prodding you to figure out that actor I was talking about.
Yep, we have to stop the reaction until we figure out David Tennant.
Oh, you mean Broadchurch?
早く救急ヘリを
also, you gotta love like, oh, we're gonna signify the future by having extra elaborate ways of doing things that are completely unnecessary, like self-opening doors that open outwards like that instead of just having somebody just push the door, right?
Those are less efficient gullwing doors, and that says a lot.
Yeah.
巡査ロボットがこんな簡単に破
I don't
壊
know. I
さ
still
れ
like
る
my
とは。
DeLorean.
警部容疑者20代の男赤い帽子を着用両腕に入れ墨旧市街再開発地区に逃亡した模様です
よし、二人一組で捜索。おい、二人一組で行動しろと。
Okay.
ザク、何がユーロポールだ。
Crazy time to commit suicide.
Indeed.
Nice camera angle. Distortion of the lens.
By the way, I know I've mentioned it 3 times now, but this guy is also the guy whose my art is based on in the overlay. I did
And
not
of course
choose,
not-
my artist did.
Now we know that he's not human, or at least not completely human.
Exactly. Also, this the way this church was visualized, it looks like the pillars are either very old or showing signs of mold.
Well, yeah, I think everything's
Also,
moldy in here.
I love the fact that his gun is part of his hand, but he's holding it with the other hand.
I think Mega Man does the same thing.
抵抗はやめなさい。
Stop resisting.
その鉄パイプに
Said the
破
cop.
壊された巡査ロボットの
Yeah.
塗料が付着している。
Yep.
ドラッグ中毒か。ドラッグの種類はノイ。摂取したのは40分前。そんなところか。どこの売人から手に入れた？何時頃そいつと会った？
明け方5時前ぐらいだよ。
その売人の証言が取れれば、お前のアリバイは成立する。ベルナルド・ランケ殺害。
I appreciate the fact that he's like, okay, so if this drug dealer says you were there, you're good.
違法ドラッグ取締りから逃れるため、
Well, it's an alibi. It doesn't mean that it's
巡査ロ
true.
ボット、通称ロビーを
Then you,
破壊した
you know, try to
権利
judge
を読み上
the
げておとなしく
veracity
逮
of
捕
the
される
alibi.
のと、
There's a
安心しろ。
there's a very interesting fluidity to this animation.
私は人間を撃てないようにできている。
Mhm.
私はロボットだ。
You want to bring up your can't argument, Justin?
Sure, let's do it. Can't hurt humans. Kick someone real hard in the
特別捜査
and
官
probably breaks a
刑事
breaks
と
a
申し
rib.
ます
But that didn't hurt.
何か
ロビーさんの奥様ですね。
はい
It's a bad translation, I guess. I don't know.
Oh, okay. So robots. Would that make
お茶でも
his wife in the apartment also a robot?
あなたもロボットでいらっしゃるから飲む
Maybe
フルー
she's
ツは
That
いいでしょ
robosexual.
うけど
No.
It could be.
人間と同じように生活をやることで
I guess
ロ
one
ボットはよ
background
り人
element
間らしい感覚をアップ
of
グレードする
Astro Boy
確かに
is
そ
you
の
gotta
通
know
りで
that
すけど
robots earned the right to be
お茶を
considered
飲
to
む
be
喜
human.
びまではなかなかわかりませんよね
That's like the very
特
first
に私
episode
み
of
た
the
いな
very
形
first
式のロボ
Astro
ットだ
Boy
と
that takes place in, so.
私ある家のメイドをやってましてねそこの
Oh
男
yeah,
の
it
子が
reminds me of the
もちろん人
Animatrix.
間の男の子よその子が生
Oh,
まれ
yeah.
る前からその
The
家
best
に
part
は
of it,
女
I
がいた
thought.
の
The history
もう
of,
兄弟みたいに育ってでも
I want to say Unimatrix
そ
1.
の
I don't
夢
remember
は
what it was
死ん
called.
だんです
Yeah, it was the start of the Robo Rebellion or the AI Rebellion.
記憶データの一部を消去しましょうか。
It's the thing that I want.
あの人の思い出
I want to be able to erase my own memories. Look, I got a lot of horrible shit rocking around up here. I would love to be able to edit.
被害者はベルナルド・ランケ。
I hear they tried to do that before with electricity and stuff like that, and it didn't quite work.
Well, I like to get shocked too, so.
Oh, well, I'm not gonna kink shame, but
そ
still.
してこれが発見された遺体です。
なんだこの
Again,
We always
person's just taking a
わかりま
nap.
せん。ただ
and we always use Apple-like interfaces.
See, this is what I was
Well,
saying before when I said, hey, Lessons, did you make the connection?
スイス林野庁所属モンブランの破壊現場です。
角まさか二つの事件の犯人が同一人物だというのか
モンブランのような頑丈なロボットをバラバラにすることなど人間には不可能です。またランケ殺害の犯行推定時刻あの部屋にランケ以外の人間の痕跡はあ
Are
り
we
ませんでした
technically dealing with a serial killer if the body count
ち
is
ょっと
two?
待てゲジ人ランケは人間だぞ
I don't know what the count
ロボット
is
法第13条
to become a serial killer.
人間を傷つけた
I
り
mean,
殺したり
you can always say that you have not discovered the other bodies.
ロボットが現れたとする
Fair enough.
Yeah.
8年前のあの時以来だ
犯人は私が探します。ロボットだろうと人間だろうとそいつには悪魔が宿っています。
I don't know, I'd be more fearful of the fact that there's a robot
おかしな
who's
題
like
材だ
trying to understand the concept
こ
of
の子
God.
ならあの上にモンブランの銅像が立つ
You
は
say
ず
there's
だ
a devil inside them. It's like, what do you mean, robot? I want your definition literally right now.
自分の銅像なんかでアルプスの景観を壊しちゃいけないってねそればかりか自分はいずれ鉄くずになる体のすべてを粉々にして溶かして再利用してくれってそれがあんな元気なうちに
モンブラン彼は真の勇者でした第39次中央アジア紛争においては平和維持軍として参加混迷を続けたペルシア王国の治安を回復させただけではなく潜伏していたテロリストを無傷のまま逮捕するなどモンブランなくして
There's something uncanny about that robot's
平和はありえなか
face.
ったでしょうそして彼は詩人でした鳥と歌い森の木々と語り合うことができ
Very fish-like.
あそこにいる彼らは皆無償でこの作業に参加しているみんなモンブランを私の息子を心から愛してくれていた
モンブラン彼は山の守り神
3日後の追悼式には数万いや数十万の人が集まってモンブランの死を悼むだろう刑事さんあれは事故なんかじゃないモンブランが粉々になったのは山火事の直前に起こった
I think the detective might know that it wasn't an accident.
決してそうじゃない刑事さん犯人を捕まえてくれ捕まえたらこの手で
スイス いえ、人類の誇り。モンブラン、彼は永遠に
Here, so we're in Switzerland.
Well, he went to Switzerland because that's where the memorial is being held.
Mhm.
Even in the original story, they go all over the world. So,
Yeah.
定期メンテナンスは終了だ。ありがとう、ホフマン博士。で、どうでした？ああ、特に異常なし。ただ。
well, I don't think I said it. Just for context lessons, the story this is based off of is called World's Greatest Robots. I don't know if that's going to give you a hint to anything or not, but it's at least
No.
worth noting.
使いすぎればどんなメカニズムも疲労する。疲労？ずいぶんややこしい仕事を抱えてるみたいじゃないか。モンブランの追悼式、テレビでやってたが、泣けて見てられなかったよ。報道じゃ電磁的爆発が体内で発生、自爆って説も流れてるが、専門家の私に言わせれば、あれだけ高性能のロボットにそんな初歩的なトラブルが起きるとは思えんね。誰からも愛されていたロボットの破壊、犯人は見つかりそうかい？
I'll also point out that they changed the main character of the story from the two different versions. Astro Boy is obviously the main character in the original. This guy is the main character in this one.
やってることが悪いわけじゃないが、何しろ物言いが悪い。
I would say that he allows you to see the events through a more normal person's perspective, but at this point we know that that's not true.
2件同時にそんな操作をしていたら、そりゃ疲れるよ。一つ聞いてもいいですか？なんだい？人間が全く生体反応を残さずに部屋に侵入することは可能ですか？ それは君の操作システムに反応しないほどの痕跡を残さずにという意味か。
Wear a hazmat suit. Boom, done.
ああ、面白いね。何かやり方が。
Yeah, but
True.
I mean, wearing a hazmat suit is pretty bulky, so somebody would see you.
He said without leaving a trace, not without being seen. I answer the questions I'm asked. I don't make up new questions.
Also, future hazmat suit might not be as bulky.
Yeah, we've seen he has like resealing skin, right, when they pull those plugs out of him.
Well, I have resealing skin too, but I don't use it all the time, you know?
Yeah, it's usually that last time where you don't use it. It's the real problem.
あの国の科学技術者の招きで一度行ったことがあるんだがね、東京は面白いよ。エキゾチックで。
Also, this guy is built. Somebody built him to be like jacked and everything, but also blonde with a receding hairline. So,
Pretty sure this guy built him. I believe that's the implication.
Yeah. Very interesting choice.
人工知能が見る夢というのに非常に興味があってね。人工知能にも潜在意識が存在するというのは学術的にも証明されている。
I don't know, he might have chosen to look like this himself, like after the fact.
Probably. Probably.
We had Data's daughter situation.
20世紀の心理学者フロイトはこんなことを言ってる。夢は現実に起きたことの表出であり。
Yeah, Freudian.
Well,
Freudian. It's just yeah.
We're circling back to the very first thing we saw, which was his dream. But I think it's more a callback to, was it a dream?
Or a memory.
Right, we already covered the fact that we can delete memories. Or exchange them.
In that case, would you also not be able to restore memories?
Since I've also mentioned this every other time. Robbie is a cute name to show us the first humanoid robot, considering, you know, Robbie the robot. Very first Hollywood robot and big movies and whatnot.
どうした
500 suits? Interesting.
I don't know
Yeah.
what country that's from.
I,
なんでもないんだ
no, that doesn't even sound like a currency I ever heard of.
ご主人のメモリーチップです。出過ぎた真似かと思いましたが、固めにと。
とんでもないわ。心から感謝します。ありがとう。
じゃあ、私はこれで。
これを私に入れていただけませんか？
Okay.
辛い記憶かもしれませんよ。
I'm sorry. It's supposed to be a very deep emotional scene, but that just came out
誤作
wrong.
動を起こす可能性もあります。その時はすぐに取り出しますよ。
Husband just passed and already inserting.
Yeah.
Oh. 奥さん、やめましょう。ご主人の最後の記憶も収められている。取り出しますよ。
何かしら。
I mean, that was a big plot point in
何かしらこれ。
the last Cyberpunk game too, right?
どうしたんです？
映すわよ。
Also in Ready Player 2.
I didn't even know Ready Player 2 was a thing.
Yep.
It's a sequel. Yeah. It didn't get a movie yet. I don't think it will, but there you go.
Listen to the whole audiobook on a long trip.
これが犯人です。
Let's see if Lessons can spot it. I failed. Justin failed. Went wrong way. Justin failed.
こんなもの
Will
を持ってい
Lessons
た
spot
私
it
がいけなかった。なんとお詫びしていいか。
before they can point it out, I mean.
違うの。夫は犯人の鉄パイプに瞬時に反応しています。捕獲用の銃も構えている。
わかります。巡査用ロボットのご主人がこんな簡単に襲われたのは疑問でした。これは非常に稀なケースで。
違うの。もう一度よく見て。私、
One last chance
記
for
憶チ
Lessons
ッ
to
プを
spot
入れ
it
てるか
before
ら
they
わか
say
る
it.
の。同僚の巡査が襲われて、この瞬間まで夫は犯人の動きを完全に捉えています。
It's just because he didn't care about his partner, you know?
夫は何かに気
Oh,
を
the
取られて
pattern of the. No, wait.
Nope, you're never gonna get it. No one's ever gonna figure this one out, girl. You see it? Ah, there you go.
止めてください。
You see that one pixel in the distance?
拡大するわ。
That's an
Boom.
important detail right there that breaks the case.
なぜこんなものが映ってるのを鑑識は気づかなかったんだ。
記憶チップを挿入していなければ一瞬のことで気づかないわ。夫はこの影を瞬間的に捉え、彼の識別システムがこれが何なのかを分析しています。
識別ってビルからビルへこんな真似ができるのは。
Imagine getting killed because you
Perhaps-
spotted a pixel off in the
ロボ
distance
ットじゃない。
and got so
Her
distracted.
her husband's analyzing system must have been the best in the world.
Clearly, it was the worst because it shut down his reactionary systems.
How many happens when you have running multiple apps at the same time, you know?
気のない部屋で起きた殺人。誰からも愛されたロボットの死。角。
Interesting having, yeah, interesting having a robot which could be driving what could be a self-driving car.
Well, like you said, they're considered human for all intents and
Yeah.
purposes.
刑事さん、あんたロボット？
え
へえ、見た目じゃ識別できんね。奴に近づくと強烈な電磁波で君の人工知能がイかれることがある。
Yes, this
この
part.
プロテクターを。
大丈夫です。私は電磁波は効きません。
え？
Are you really?
特殊な合金でできているんです。こう見えてもね。
そうか。ならいいが、気をつけたまえ。今までここで4人のロボットが奴の犠牲になっている。
I do like the addition of other people have thought the same, because then it makes you doubt, gives you doubt for anything after, right?
True.
Is this a robot prison?
I would say something,
I
but
don't know.
you will not be confused the moment you see.
滑稽なほど必死で作り
Yeah.
上げたバリケードだろう。結局人間はこうでもしないと抑えられないんだ、恐怖を。
ブラウ1589。
Just a friendly guy.
Yeah, with a buster sword coming out of his chest.
It's actually a lance.
君が最高性能の刑事ロボットか。
識別装置はまだ働いているようだね。
Looks like he was lanced a lot.
むしろ前より敏感にな
Nope,
って
just once.
しまってね。こうして動くことを取り上げられるとどうにも気になってしまうのだよ、外のことが。
今日はあなたに聞きたいことがあってきた。
何よ。8年前人間を殺したロボットが何を考えていたかかい？
ベルナルド・ランケという法学者が殺害された。だが殺害現場に人間の痕跡はなかった。犯人は人間なのか、それとも
ロボットか。
Which means
もしロ
it
ボット
must
なら
have been
な
a
ぜそんな
robot.
ことをしたのか。人間たちはね、細部にわたり調べ
Robots
上げ
can't
たん
hurt
だよ。
humans.
殺人を犯した私の人工知能を必ずどこかに欠陥があるはずだと。だがそんなものはどこにも見当たらなかった。私の人工知能には一つの欠陥もなかったんだよ。わかるかい？その時の人間たちの恐怖が。だから私をこんなところに閉じ込めておくんだ。恐ろしいならこの槍を抜けばいい。そうすれば私は死ぬ。なのにそれさえもできないんだよ、人間たちは。ゲジヒト警部。
I'm curious if that last statement was actually truthful.
メモリーチップを交換しようじゃないか。そうすれば
See, having only watched the first episode, and then the 2 episodes this one was based off of, I know nothing about this guy, or if he's even in the show at all.
破壊されたモンブランとランケの殺害現場
I mean, he's obviously pulling a Hannibal Lecter role here, right?
その角の意味。
Yeah.
Tell me something and I'll tell you something.
ヨーロッパの古き神々。死の神には角がついていた。戦士の魂を奪う狩人ハーンは角の王と呼ばれた。ギリシャ神話においては冥界の王ハデス、あるいはローマ神話の冥王プルート。
Oh no, they dropped the name of the show.
この犯人
Yeah.
はまた
Yeah.
やる。
Well, you know, you saw the title. The title had horns on it, so.
ロボットがいとも簡単に破壊された。もう答えは出ているはずだ。
Just a mistake on the font. They're gonna fix that next episode.
大量破壊兵器にもなりうるロボットたち。もう答えは出ている。そうだろう？君も含めてあと6人だ。
Colloquially known as the world's greatest robots.
I believe that's called 5 shadowing.
I mean, we also know that they fought in the, what was it, the 39th Asian War.
Yeah. Hence,
39th Central Asian War.
yeah.
But yeah, you know, the horror of that guy is obviously he's an artificial intelligence that killed a person, and they tried to find out what was wrong with him, and they determined nothing was wrong with him. His AI was working perfectly. So why did he kill a person?
Yep. Truly terrifying.
Well, the consideration is that evil is not a malfunction.
To be fair, that goes along with some other scary thoughts, like what if the universe was fair and you deserve what's happening to you?
目が不自由でいらっしゃるのに不用心です。
こんな荒野にまでやってくる物取りなどいやせん。
しかしダンカン様。
That is definitely food for
新しい
thought.
羊か。
はい。
どうせまたろくでもないものをよこしたんだろう。名前は？
はい。ノース2号と申します。
味もそっけもない名前だな。紹介業者から聞いた話では。
Never asked before, but what happened to North Number 1?
We don't talk about North Number 1.
第39次中央アジア紛争の際、ブリテン軍総司令官の執事をしておりました。
ああ、軍人の召使いとはさぞや武骨な姿をしとるんだろう。
人前ではケープを羽織るようにしています。
なるほど。全身が武器ということか。お茶を入れてもらおう。
承知しました。
種類は
お任せください。ダンカン様のデータはすべて入力されています。
I'd be annoyed at that.
私のデータ。
Well, if I said I want tea, and you have all my data, which says what my preferred type of tea is, I could have different tastes, different days.
That might be in the data.
I'm not arguing that there could be metadata that knows me as well as I am. I'm just saying you can't second guess. My taste may have changed.
スコアを書けば大ヒット。映画音楽賞総なめ盲目の天才音楽家。お前の頭にはメディアの評価も入力されているんだろう。さすがのポール・ダンカンも才能が尽きた。どうだ、ふざけるな。今だってその気になればいくらでも書いてやるさ。天才は健在だ。
They do express the nature of a bitterness from age very well with this gentleman.
しかし今もお仕事をされていました。とても美しい
I mean, to me, it sounds like you're implying his bitterness is age.
Perhaps.
No implications, just bitterness being in some form being connected to it.
See what I tell you? Maybe he's bitter because he just assumed what tea I wanted.
I mean, I think this guy is the murderer.
Which one? North Number 2 or the old blind guy?
No, North Number 2.
How about this? Consider the fact that I've told you a number of times already that these are all being treated as though they're human, because legally, all these robots are human. The disrespect you're giving this war veteran right now, who's come to be your butler. I served in the 39th Central Asian War, you prick.
I served my country. Don't judge me by this.
じゃあ仲間を殺したのか。何体のロボットを破壊した。数えきれないほどか。あっち行け。味気ない食事が余計に味気なくなる。
失礼いたします。
So if robots can't kill humans, but robots participate in wars, so essentially there's a segregation of death in war, where the robots kill other robots and the humans can, I guess, kill robots and humans, but the robots cannot kill
I
humans.
believe that's what's being indicated.
That sounds about correct for the implication.
The very first episode of Astro Boy, essentially all robots are slaves, and they get their basically human rights by the end of the very first episode of Astro Boy, even back in 1963. So I guess the assumption is that they kept the laws of robotics around still. So the robots, even though they're considered human, still have the restrictions against harming humans. That being said, you're not going to not use a weapon if you have a weapon.
But yeah, but you would have, if you put the limit to it that you can't kill humans, then what are they used for in a war?
See, I think the war may actually have happened in the show, and I only watched the first episode, and then this 2-episode thing. This is obviously 8 episodes, but in the actual show, it was like 2 episodes.
Yeah.
So I don't actually know. It's entirely possible they turned that shit off, and then the robots just decided, yeah, but I still don't want to kill humans, and just decided to fight each other. I will say it's a fair question. It makes a lot of sense to ask.
Well, I think also the greater military implication is, at that point in time, does it then not make sense to just raise an army of humans and then half the opposing army just won't kill you?
Well, I mean, you could still target shit, right?
Yeah, but if we're following, for example, recently came that sounds like the three laws of robotics, right? You know,
Yeah, well, they go more in depth here. They have articles and international law and everything like that hard coded in. They've said, but I mean, even if they couldn't attack humans, which just means they can't hold territory, they could still attack infrastructure and whatnot. They could still
okay,
have a
but
use.
Here's the thing, though. You let's say that you have a robot that attacks at headquarters. Headquarters full of people or a ship, right? The third law of robotics says you cannot, by your inaction, allow others humans to be harmed.
I'm gonna just cut your feet out from under you right here and say, don't rely on the don't rely on Asimov's laws. Like I said, they use a different set of laws here, so I can't. Yeah, I don't think we can argue like the semantics of the Asimov system.
昨夜ダンカン様の寝室からうなされている声が。しかし、どこか歌を歌って
I'd also argue that you wouldn't send them to do a thing that you know that they can't
その
do.
メロディーがぴったり当てはまるように思い
Which leads me to what can they do? Can they
Yeah,
do?
I think that's the show is gonna have to answer that.
あの部分に
Because if I'm being perfectly honest, you have sapped all of the point of the Central Asian War out of me. I don't know what to think now. What would they be doing?
この屋敷から出て行け。しかし、主人の命令だ。出て行け。
ピアノを弾けるようになりたいのです。
なんだと？
ダンカン様がおっしゃるように、私がいくら弾いても偽物かもしれません。でも、少しでも本物に近づけるように。
Also thrown by his RoboCop face, as I've pointed out a number of recordings now. We know the other guy could make a full-ass human body, but this guy's maker could only make that much.
やめろ。それは破壊兵器が触れるものではない。お前には戦場がお似合いだ。
だからです。だから弾けるようになりたいのです。もう戦場に行きたくないから。
母さん。母
suppose it could also be a thing where, certain sci-fi worlds, the population is less than what it normally is in a real world. Like, we could have a future with, like, a stark population decline.
Possibly.
And if the world
I
is
think that's an
mostly...
important thing.
Well, if the world is mostly robots, they could just be fighting over places where robots are living.
Well, because I really do think implied population is a bigger in
How many humans have we seen in
how
the
a
show
story is
total?
told. At this point, really only confirmed 2.
Well, if you use the word confirmed, then we're fucked, because one of the main character is a human-looking robot.
Even ignoring the confirmation, less than 10.
多少弾けるようになったかと。弾けるようにだと？機械の上達なんてのはより正確になったぐらいのものだ。ダンカン様が寝言で歌っておられるメロディーを弾いてみます。お前たちの出している音は音楽ではない。こんなものはデータさえ入力すれば無限のメロディーラインを想像するなと。こんなものは。
Well, to be fair, that would be the Tipler point, in which case we're already fucked.
Yeah.
仲間をかばっているつもりか。では聞くが、お前は戦争で仲間をどれだけ壊した？ケープを脱いで晒してみろ。その醜悪な兵器の体を。その体で。
He's blind, so what he would see.
何人の仲間を殺したんだ。大量破壊兵器も。
It's funny, because the first time I watched this with Griffin, we were entirely empathetic. But you've already jumped into the well that Justin and I had to jump into, which was, this guy's blind. How much of this shit is wasted on him?
Yep.
いや、これが現実に起きた私の過去だ。私の本名はポール・ダンカンではなく、パウロ・ホリー、ボヘミアの
Again, Paolo Holy is such a better name than Paul Duncan.
物心つく前に死んだ。生まれつき重い病を患い、視力も弱かった私の楽しみといえば、歌を歌うことぐらいだった。母は美しかった。みすぼらしい姿でも街へ出れば、
Trust me, my memory's doing her no service right now.
だから成金が近づいてきたんだ。そして母もあの男の金に目がくらんだ。それで足手まといになったんだろう。病気がちな私を母は私を捨てた。私は英国の寄宿学校に入れられた。友人はできず、病弱な私は年中いじめに遭っていた。そんな中でも音楽の勉強だけは必死に続けた。
Something occurs to me. Boarding schools don't pay for themselves.
それも続けることができなくなった。
Yeah, no, I hear both schools are quite expensive.
いくつもの病院をたらい回しにされたが、容体は悪くなる一方で。
And that was a boarding school in America too, which most likely means that hospital bill was not cheap either.
No, he said England, or was he sent across to America?
England. Yeah.
こんなもんだろうと。その時、日本人の医者が現れた。正確には医者ではなく、モグリの医者だった。 君の命を助けてやる。だが代わりに視力を失うかもしれない。
手術は成功した。ただそのモグリの医者の
It
言っ
always
た
seems
通
like
り
that in this kind of
視
shit
力
that
は
makes
日
me
々
laugh.
日々衰え
The
ている。
surgery was a success.
残りわ
As
ずか
though
な
the
時
next
間
line be, and then I
私は
died.
それまで以上に音楽の勉強に打ち込んだ。私には音楽しかない。もっと音楽を。もっと。
We successfully gave you back your ability to hear. You're gonna lose the feeling in your hands, though.
そして闇が訪れた。数年後、母の死を知らされた。母はあの成金の妻にはなれなかったらしい。死ぬ時は一人ぼっちだったそうだ。子を捨てた報いだ。知ってるか？この城はその成金が持っていたものだ。パウロ・ホリーから天才ポール・ダンカン。音楽界の巨匠となった私はこの城を手に入れた。母さん、あんたの欲しかったものはこれだ。子供を捨ててまで手に入れたかったものは
Such a beautiful house, a man can't see it.
母さん、あんたに本当に大事なものを教えてあげるよ。あんたが捨てたふるさとの風景、あの素晴らしい風景を音楽にしてやるよ。人間が捨てちゃいけないものは何なのか教えてやるよ。
ダンカン様、あなたのお母様は。
黙れ。推薦状を書いてやる。明日ここを出て行け。
And considering this conversation has happened twice now on channel, I just want to point out, we're not against blind people. We're not just making fun of blind people here on the channel.
I mean, I'm not making fun of them. It's like he said a statement that to me was so illogical that I had to point it out, you know?
Piano を弾けるようになりたいのです。もう戦場に行きたくないから。
I mean, to be fair, there is a lot of heart to this story.
Yes. If robots at this point have the understanding of the world around them, which has been implied, being such a weapon would be traumatic outside of times of war.
I mean, if they have free will, but they were built to fight and kill other robots who also have free will, yeah.
It just makes me realize how much Mega Man ripped off Astro Boy.
Absolutely.
Every aspect of Mega Man is just Astro Boy.
Well, that also goes into the theory of there's no such thing as an original story.
機械目が。うなされているのか。
Circling back to Gescheit, our detective from the first part,
夢を見
trying to figure out if that was a dream.
Do robots dream of electric sheep?
No. I've never read the book. I don't know.
It's a short story. Which led to Blade Runner.
Didn't it make it into a full-ass book? Philip K. Dick, right?
No, Philip K. Dick. It's a short story that then got expanded into Blade Runner, the movie, a lot and changed a lot. I think just like the beginning of the story is, if I remember correctly, just the fact that Deckard is hunting other robots, and that's it.
I think the real question is, do electric sheep jump over sleeping robots?
本当に出て行ったか。書けなくなったのかもし
See,
れない。
like I said, I watched the 2 episode that was untranslated back from 1963, so I visually know what happens. I don't know what the mystery is. I don't know anybody's names. I don't know any relationships. So Geshite dreaming about blood puddles and shit. I have no idea what that means. My wonder is did Geshite kill somebody? Is that what the dream is about?
いや、先日執事ロボットをクビにしてな。で、何か用か。
はい、実はある映画の音楽について。
仕事の依頼か。話によっては聞いてやらんこともない。
I would say Geshite might be the killer, but I don't think that's true.
Again, I also like the confidence in this, that they completely redesigned what a phone was. They're just not going off of like what we would understand a phone to be.
何でも勝手に使え。
さあ、ダンカン。
メッセージが届きました。
ブリティッシュフィルハーモニーオーケストラ企画室のラッセルです。以前お話ししたサーダンカンの組曲の上演ですが、諸事情により中止とさせていただくことになりました。誠に残念ですが、いずれまた機会がございましたら。
I wonder how expensive that house would have been to buy.
As I've seen some comparisons between English castles and rentals in Toronto, and the rentals in Toronto are more expensive.
Yeah, but this is...
Yeah, but Toronto rentals are stupid.
I know this is Switzerland, and this is a massive estate.
I think this is England, actually. No, or Bohemia. Yeah, this is Bohemia.
I don't know.
Because he bought that.
You say you got it from the parvenu who his mother was with. So I don't think it's England.
No, it's
maybe
not.
Bohemia. I don't. I swear they mentioned at some point that it was like, I don't know. They were probably just mentioning Mont Blanc, which is Switzerland.
Yeah, it must be Germany then, because Bohemia is part of Germany.
Either way, it is a massive estate in an isolated valley, it looks like, between mountain ranges. And well kept, which has to add to its value.
No, if I'm remembering correctly, actually, about Toronto, I think the CN Tower is being converted into apartments.
Duncan 様、ただいま戻りました。
なんだ、出て行けと言ったはずだ。
Just had to fly to Germany to kill a guy.
ダンカン様のふるさとへ。
Oh.
そんなところに何の用だ。
So he's not in Bohemia then.
あの地方の民謡をたくさん採取する中で見つけたのです。 ダンカン様が寝言で歌っていらっしゃるあの曲を今から歌います。
やめろ。機械の歌など聞きたくない。これ以上私の悪夢に入り込むな。人間には忘れてしまいたいものがあるんだ。
I suspected that was a
ダンカン様の
song.
夢は悪夢ではありません。私の夢のような削除したいものではありません。おっしゃる通り、私はただの兵器です。第39次中央アジア紛争では何体もの敵軍のロボットを、いえ、私の仲間を何万体も破壊しました。その記憶を、何万人もの仲間を殺した記憶を、私の人工知能がリピートするのです。ボヘミア地方である老人に会いました。その老人は民謡に詳しく、あの曲を知っていました。そしてあの曲の素晴らしい歌い手がいたことも覚えていました。あなたのお母様です。私の中のダンカン様のデータ、お母様に関しても入力されています。お母様は重い病気を患うあなたを捨てたのではありません。あなたの病気を治すために大富豪のジョナサン・ソーン氏に近づいたのです。だからあなたの命を救った医師への莫大な謝礼も
And the equally
支払う
astronomical
ことが
fee
で
for
き
your
た。
boarding school.
あなたは捨てられたのではありません。視力を失ったあなたのすぐそばまでお母様はやってきていました。しかしお母様はあなたの憎しみを知り、手を差し伸べることができなかった。
そんな、まさか。
本当です。
I don't know if I brought this up
あ
to
な
you
たは
before,
ふるさと
Justin.
を思い出すとき、
I specifically
大
remember
切な
saying
記
this.
憶を削除して
Would
いま
it
せん
not
か。
have been better to not tell him that?
村の老人
Now
は
he's
I
just a
think he
sad
did in
old man.
ふる
100%.
さとの大地に沈む夕日を眺めながら、
Well,
あなた
I
方
think it
親
also
子が手を
proves
つ
the
ないで
idea of
この曲を歌っていたこと。
him being told he's just a weapon and him trying to not be one. He was simply being a weapon, just in a different way.
I say, keep in mind that the last time this guy heard this sound came from a woman's voice, so.
The robot is on pitch, though.
申し訳ありません。機械
I
の
think you ruined the guy. You apologize.
あなたの夢は悪夢などではな
Oh,
い。
you didn't like me drumming up that horrible
私の
memory
夢とは
and adding to it? I'm sorry.
ノースニゴ、お前はもう戦場へなど行くな。ピアノの練習をしよう。
はい。
Okay, this. Wow.
Yeah, it obviously, it works
Oof.
out.
Yeah.
It works out in that, you know, you had to push through this one painful moment to come out the other side with a catharsis, but just the idea of it, right? Telling, God, who knows how old this man is with modern medical technology, that you've spent your entire childhood to grown-ass adult man life hating a
even put it in
person that
so
loved
light.
you and sacrificed everything to save you.
Yeah.
And then, because you remember from before, he said he knows his mother died alone.
Yeah.
But hey, it's snowing, so we're good.
Snow makes everything better.
Yeah. But it's also, this is great in showing the whole nature of memories, right? How he remember his mother and what really happened were close. I mean, in a way, she did abandon him because she had to do this for him, so she made a choice. But for a child, he only felt the loneliness and not understood the reasons for it, right? Probably a mother knew that he was sick. Well, he told he was sick, and that she went to do this to get something, you know.
Well, a lot of parents do that same thing where people growing up will be like, well, one parent was always there, and the other one was the reason why they could always have a parent there.
Yeah. That's why quality of living is so important.
Exactly.
As the phrase goes,
おい、ノース2号。
はい、ダンカン様。
やっと完成した。聞いてくれ。
はい。ぜひ聞かせていただきたいのですが、今は
どうした？
何かがこちらに近づいてくるのです。
何か？お前の友達でもやってきたんじゃないのか？
数日前の
I don't think you were paying attention to my backstory at all.
お聞きになりましたか？
スイスのニュース？ああ、モンブランとかいうロボットが竜巻にあって大破したっていうあれか？
先ほどおよそ 100km 先で竜巻が起きました。何か
And here we
脅威が
go.
近づいています。
おい！
すぐに戻ります。
ノース2号！
why did you make the robot so sinister so I didn't have to care about him when he sacrifices himself? What the hell?
ノース2号！
You bastard.
ノース。
They're gonna have it. The crime scene is gonna be the legs that detach when it flies for some reason.
何が？何が起きているんだ？ノース2号。これは。あの歌だ。大気いっぱいに。あの歌が。
That means he's probably gone where robots go when they're not powered.
All right, Justin, say your thing.
歌っている。
Well, what was my thing?
Ah, never mind. The moment's passed.
そんなところで歌ってないで。早く帰ってこい。ノース2号。
I don't think that's happening.
You want to know what Justin's thing was? Watch the version 2 of this video.
100%, because I had a thing, but I forgot. In this moment, I don't know what that thing was.
The irony is it's also the thumbnail for version 1 of this video.
I love it.
Hey, Lessons, do you know what Astro Boy's name is?
I forgot.
Okay. I'll say it in a second. By the way, that last 30 minutes of everything was about 3 minutes in the original story.
Don't tell me it's like Thunderchild or something like that.
Hi.
No, it's pretty simple.
はじめまして。君がアトム君だね。
You figure it out?
Yeah.
はい。
That's Astro Boy. His name's Adam. Because it also serves, I guess, as a double entendre between a science lesson and the name Adam, the first man. I don't know why that would even make sense, because he's not the first robot either.
Oh, he's not. No.
I don't know. It just seems like that's clearly some sort of metaphor trying to be made.
There's got to be some sort of reason for the name.
Do you know Astro Boy's backstory?
I don't know. He was made by the professor.
If you do know it, don't say it, because Justin doesn't. Camera angle here. Justin don't know. So
Yeah.
I am gonna switch these cameras, by the way, next time, so that we're all looking in an organic direction. But yeah, if you know it, don't say it. He don't know, and there's got to be at least some sort of good reveal here. And if you do know it, or if you don't know it, all the better. Because I'm hoping they cover it in this show. I mean, I don't know if they will or not, because it's obviously not part of the storyline of World's Greatest Robots. But I would love to see it. I would love to see their version of it. So I've only watched the 1963 version, which I've already found out is all the balance of a Popeye the Sailor Man cartoon. And God, I don't even know. If you didn't know, Astro Boy 1963 is the very first commercial success of a television anime. Which is to say, there was only one other television anime before it in existence, and that was just animating moments of history. But they made it on the cheap. It really feels like a cartoon of its era, but then, like, you know, like cartoon people are like working on buildings or they're building something, and then like one person will hammer a thing in and a guy will duck real quick while he's working on something else. It'll be like all these little things of, there's going to be a disaster here in a moment. That sort of like cartoony shit mixed in with like real life stuff of like, that guy just died, you know? It's like, it's a real mix.
It seems like a very interesting watch, considering how far animation has gone.
Well, that's why I took the opportunity to watch it, because obviously we were planning to watch Pluto, and I was like, well, I've always wanted to go back and see the origins of anime. So,
yeah,
you know, Astro Boy 1963 was the very first one that there was ever like English translations for and everything. It also sets the stage for superhero slash cyborg stuff, right? Because there's Astro Boy and I can't remember the other one now. It's like something 7. He's got 7 in his name, but he's also another cyborg. Like literally, of the 4 first animes that were all aired in 1963, 2 of them were cyborgs.
Cyborg
Don't
88,
know
I
why
think it was.
7 is ringing a bell.
I think it's Cyborg 88.
Could be. Well, it has a crossover with oh god, what is it? 009. What was is Cyborg 009 what I'm thinking of? They
No, never
eventually have
mind.
a crossboy. Eighth Man, that's what it was. Eighth Man. Sorry, I got the number wrong. It's a superhero anime in 1963, but Eighth Man is himself a cyborg. And I'm sorry.
Eighth Man is also a very interesting name.
I got the number wrong. There were 6 animes in that year, which is the first year for anime on TV. Basically, if you don't count that other one I talked about. that went missing to time.
Mm-hmm.
It's Astro Boy, Gigantor, Eighth Man, Wolf Boy, Ken, Prince Shisokan, and Hermit Village. But Wolf Boy Ken is a children's one, so it might as well just be a cartoon.
Well, over time, though, there has been a lot of things that are children's material, but have gone into topics that most things avoid, and have done it pretty respectfully.
Yeah, and there was an Eighth Man versus Cyborg 009, which is, I think, the 90s big cyborg anime. But yeah, well, Pluto. What are your thoughts?
I mean, it was far more emotional than I expected it. I mean, I really was taken aback with it. Sorry about playing with my camera there. Trying to make it brighter. Yeah, I mean, that whole it was interesting how it was put together though, because you're expecting it to just be the story of with this, the investigation. That's going to be it. You're investigating, and that's going to be it. But then the episode is like, oh, let's stop that and jump to this completely what it seems to be completely different story about this warrior robot and this old man, and you're like, what's going on? But then the story with the old man was so captivating, I almost forgot everything that happened before. Like the opening stuff was fine. It was like, oh, it's okay, it's investigating, blah blah, and then boom, this completely different story that is also part of it.
I would almost
You
say
know,
it to its detriment, to my perspective. Like I said, I think I was a lot more emotional about it the first time I had seen it. And then when I watched it with Justin, I was like, why did they? I'll just say your part, Justin, because you didn't say it. Now it's kind of hurrying to me to say.
Absolutely.
Why
Yeah.
did they put the reflection of number two dying in the old man's glasses when we know the old man can't see it? It is a
Yep.
it is a visual metaphor that is just insulting to the blind guy. But yeah, like I said, it was much more emotional the first time I had seen it. Um, and like I said, I've brought up a number of times that I have watched those three bit parts of the original Astro Boy. I do not know if these characters get fleshed out a lot more in like I don't know if I said this. World's Greatest Robots in 1963's Astro Boy is episodes like 173 and 174. It's out there. I only watched the first one. So, first one and then those two. I don't know if somewhere in the next 170 episodes that those two characters' relationships get fleshed out more to the point where they did get all this. Because in the episode that I watched, where they just show up for 3 minutes, right? And again, I have no translations, so I don't know if their relationship is established and built and everything. Like number two has shown up in a bunch of episodes before, helped Astro Boy out in a mystery or something. I don't know. So, if
Mhm.
this was like, man, they have spent so many episodes focusing on number two before, we've got to give him something in Pluto to establish what we know about him. If that's the case, sure, this makes perfect sense. Otherwise, I know him for a 3 minute thing where this happens to him. Like, he just gets destroyed in fucking 3 minutes. Although I will say, in 1963, he gets a bigger fight than this. 1963, the 3 minutes is him fucking fighting. He fights. He doesn't fly into the clouds and then disappear.
um, I think also talk about the format. I think it would have been better if the old man stuff, number two, would have gone like this week, like two episodes have been stitched together, right? And instead of just being one, two stories stitched in one. If we had started there and then seen the destruction of, or maybe a brief scene where we see the destruction of Mont Blanc, then we go to this story, then we get the detective. That would have made more conventional sense, right? Because we get invested in the robots, we see that their impact on the world. People love Mont Blanc and all that, and also the kind of world that these robots inhabit with the humans. And then we get the detective, right? With the reveal being, hey, I am a robot too, and I'm investigating, and I'm being hunted too as well, because I'm supposed to be one of those best robots.
I mean, I can see that.
I actually like the way it's formatted only because it builds up the human aspect of robots within society. It shows the different degrees of it. So policeman, detective, war veteran, the wife, and then that end fight really dehumanizes the threat. Threat just shows up and smokes them.
I mean, I can see where Lessons is coming from. I know that they pulling the Mont Blanc to number 2 angle because that's literally just the order of events the original show takes place, and I'm assuming maybe the manga as well. But the reason I would agree more so with Lessons is the fact that Gescheit here, our detective guy, is not the main character in the original story. So his inclusion in the whole here's the mystery, laying out the elements for you part that feels like it's so distinctly separate from, say, the Mont Blanc to number 2 segment is because it is added. Because it's not where the original story goes. I mean, I'll point this out there because we're obviously in another world with this. This guy doesn't show up till much later in the story, in the original story. So our detective wasn't originally in this part of the original narrative.
Now, do we know if that this detective is the main character throughout all of Pluto?
It's been indicated. It's been indicated to me anyway. I don't know that
Yeah.
it's. I'm not like sharing information that I shouldn't have. Like I haven't been spoiled. I'm pretty sure in the description of what Pluto is that they've said he's the main character. I don't remember why, but like the guy who made this wanted to do a love letter to the series or something. So that's his decision, I guess. But they still included Astro Boy because he's a pivotal role in the whole fucking thing.
Oh yeah, if it's from Astro Boy, like not include Astro Boy at all is a
I will say, just to kind of get you
strange choice.
hyped for what's coming up next, like next episode and everything, I think if you had a problem with the pacing of this episode, you'll enjoy the next episode more. Next episode doesn't feel like a couple of things that get attached together. It feels like one more cohesive story. So if that's where the show is going to keep going from there on, I don't feel like your narrative this should have followed that sort of thing is going to be a problem anymore.
Okay, makes sense. At least I hope so. It is.
Well, like I said, next episode is the only one I've watched after this, and I've only watched it once, as to oppose this third viewing of the first episode.
Yeah.
My own little personal anime hell where I never escape the first episode of any series.
So in that case, I think what I'm going to do is, before we watch the second one, I'll watch the third. So when we go in third, I'll be seeing it for the second. It'll be fresh for both of you.
And you'll have no idea what they're doing because you didn't see.
And I won't know the setup, so then I'll appreciate it more.
I guess so.
All right. Will we have any final wrap-up thoughts here?
Not from me.
All right,
No,
then.
I think the discussion communicated it.
All right. Well, I'm going to avoid pointing this time because I don't want to break our wrist trying to figure this out. So, I have been Theta. One of these people is Justin, and the other one is Lessons. This is it for Pluto Stone Face Reactions. We will catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stone-Faced Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video, what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?